and welcome to the tutorial for Island English for Math, Grade 1, Practical Activity 1, Find and Color. In this video, we'll be focusing on the topic of numbers 1 to 10. I'll walk you through how to deliver the lesson effectively so your students can engage and enjoy the learning process. So let's get started. The tutorial will be broken down into two main parts, materials and teaching procedures. So first, let's go over the materials you need. These include a PowerPoint lesson, a lesson plan, and a teacher's package. So when you open this one, as you can see on the screen here, there will be an A1 sized template for teachers and magnetic stickers. Once you have your teaching materials ready, let's move on to the student materials. Your students will also have the template like yours, but it is size A4 and there are some crayons for them. And don't worry, everything you need will be provided by your AO. Now, on to the teaching procedures. There are 4 parts in the PowerPoint that we'll be covering. First, warm-up. Second, review. The third one, practical activity. And the last one, speak up. Start your lesson with the provided song. And our song today is named Counting 1 to 10. This will help you engage the students and set a positive tone for the rest of the class. Please note that you can also use your own warm-up activity if you feel it suits your students better, and this part should take around 2 to 3 minutes. Next, we move to reviewing the target vocabulary and structures. This step is broken into 2 parts, vocabulary review and practice task. For this first part, vocabulary review, don't just have the students listen and repeat. Instead, ask them some questions to check their understanding and memory of the previous learned words. You are expected to use the main structures, in other words, target language, to guide them in responding. For example, with the theme of the number 1 to 10, you can ask, "What number is it?" And your students will reply, "It's number 1. After that, have the students spell out the number O-N-E. Please keep an eye on their pronunciation and intonation. This section should last around 4 minutes, and don't forget to save enough time for the next part. Now that we've reviewed the vocabulary, let's move on to the practice task, where your students can apply what they've learned in a fun activity. Our activity is called Look and Answer. Let's see how it works. You will divide the class into 4 groups, or you can adjust the groupings as you see fit. Then, ask a representative from each group to focus on the screen and call out a number as soon as it appears. Now, click on this button to show the number. The group that says the correct number the fastest will earn 1 point. In this case, it is number 2. So, click on Answer to show the correct answer. Our answer here is, it's number 2. After it responds, have the students repeat the full sentence and correct their pronunciation and intonation if necessary. This activity will keep the students engaged and promote friendly competition. Make sure to explain the rules clearly and manage the timing. This section should be timed, lasting about 6 minutes to allow smooth progress to the main activity. Now, on to the most important part, the practical activity, Find and Color. There are three sections to this part: materials, instructions, and correction. Start by introducing the materials for the activity, which, as mentioned earlier, are provided by your AO. Give the students a moment to get organized before diving into the instructions. So you have to go through this one by one with your student. And now, on the slide here, you can see there are clear steps that guide you through the activity, and you, with your students, will work through this one by one. This is the first step. Your students have to listen and write the numbers and the words. So you have to say the numbers and the items out loud. For example, 5 backpacks, 3 pencils. Then ask the student to listen carefully, write down the numbers next to the items. You have to finish 7 items before moving on to the next step. In the second step, your student have to find and color the items accordingly. After introducing the instruction, you and your students will have 10 minutes to do this activity. And if your student can't finish the activity within the allotted time, don't worry, you have enough time to review and correct their work later. They can also take the worksheet home to complete it. On the other hand, if the students finish early, ask them to assist their classmates. Once your students have completed the activity, use an A1 sized template and place it on the board. Have the student come up and use magnetic sticker to practice by placing them on the template according to the answers. This hands-on practice will help reinforce the learning. And after this practice section, move on to the correction phase here. Show the correct answers on the PowerPoint and review them with the class. Encourage students to compare their work with the answers and make any necessary adjustments. Now, we're gonna go to the last part, speak up. The final stage is where students will practice speaking based on the target language provided in the lesson. Encourage them to share their work with their class, guiding them to speak confidently and clearly. Finally, sing and dance with your students to end the lesson with this goodbye song. And if you have any further questions or suggestions, please feel free to contact your AO. This is the tutorial for the Island English for Math practical activity, and I'm Minh Anh from the Academic Specialist team. Thank you for your attention.